Good morning, y'all. Good morning. Good morning, y'all. Good morning. What y'all got going on? Is it a slow morning for y'all? A slow Sunday morning? Good morning. What y'all got going on? Let's talk about this case with Latasha in Memphis, Tennessee. Oh, it's so much to unwrap, y'all. It's so much to unwrap. It really is. It's so much to unwrap with this lady. How do you go to prison? Okay, well let's start from the beginning. Let's just roll it back from her testimony, what she said. How she said, how she grew up and how she felt like that she wasn't loved. Let's start there. Let's start with talking about self love, honoring thyself, staying connected with thyself. Let's start there. It sounds like from a little girl, she felt a void of being loved and able to love herself. And that's why I think it's so important when we raise our children that they know that they are loved, that you love them, and that they are valued. I can remember vaguely when my daughter was younger, even if was going through some things in life, she always saw a side of me that showed her love, that showed her that I showed her that I loved myself. So she was always embraced and saturated in love. She always was poured into from the area of being loved. Everything was, I love you, I love you, I love you, you this, you that, you this. When kids are young, y'all, they need that validation. They need that sense of being loved. They need to know how to love themselves. They need to know how to honor themselves. That is so important. And that starts at a young age. And I'm talking about maybe starting at 18 months to 2. And I'm saying that because I can remember my child being 18 months and very intelligent and very affectionate. She loved to be kissed and hugged, and she was, just real emotional. And kids start that at a young age, and they need to know that you are loved. I love you. You are beautiful. You are this. You just have to pour into them affirmations to validate who they are, and that starts at a young age. And I just think that she didn't have that at a young age, and as she got older, she started to look for that in someone else. And I think when you see a person like that, you have to go back to the root cause, right? And I know a lot of times that we like to, I really thought about it. At first, she was wrong, right? Because you just can't go unaliving people because they break your heart. We all and had our heart broke at some point in life. And if you hadn't, just keep on living. So I'm not making any excuses for her, but I think to go back to the root cause of her problem, she never felt like she was worthy of love. She never felt like she received love. And she was never taught how to love herself. And throughout the whole ordeal, you never heard her mention her children. I wanted, it was always, I wanted to make my family happy. I'm sorry I disappointed you all. She was always looking for that validation and for that acceptance. And when she didn't find it in her immediate loved ones, she went outside of that. So she married at a young age. She got pregnant, just looking for somebody to accept her and love her. And so going through all of this trauma, it broke down her self-esteem, right? You after relationship after relationships, you're not accepted, you're rejected. It doesn't sound like, I don't they didn't talk about the relationship she had with her mother, but and then she saw her mother go through things where her mother didn't honor herself because her mother stayed with a pastor allegedly that was physically abusive. So you grow up in a household and you see your mom get abused and stay with a man that abuses her. And so you start to think, okay, my mom puts up with this kind of behavior from people, so it must be okay. My mom is doing this to get love and acceptance. And I guarantee you, while her mom was going through all of that, her mom did not pour into her because her mom was going through so much turmoil being in a relationship, in a marriage with an abusive man. And it had to be quiet, it was on the hush. She said they didn't talk about anything that happened within their household. So all of this was suppressed inside of her, right? And so she probably was thinking, I just want to have somebody who loves me, you know? Good morning, Mata. I'm talking about Latasha. I'm talking about Latasha. So the young lady in Memphis, Tennessee, that will probably get minimum, the minimum of 13 years up to 20 years. She's going to do a little bit of time. She's 47, so she'll be in her late 50s, early 60s when she gets out. But I was just talking about the root cause of what, and this is just my opinion. No, this is my opinion. I'm not a psychiatrist, I'm not a psychologist, but I have been to therapy before. And I think that we should start normalizing black people going to therapy. Okay. And we should stop normalizing getting on social media and looking for a social media therapist or pouring our hearts and soul out in social media looking for somebody to validate our trauma or looking to trauma bond. That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. I see a lot of that on social media where, women, we are in a certain age group and we go through things in life and then we want to get on social media and trauma bond with other women. Go to therapy, y'all. Go to therapy. Go go see somebody. Go sit down and have conversations with people who are non-biased, that people who are have the credentials to help you navigate through your life trauma instead of going on social media and trying to trauma bond and share things that should be discussed outside, not within social media. My opinion, okay? But to get back to Latasha, and that's what I'm saying, the root cause of her situation was the way she was, her upbringing. It was her upbringing, y'all. It was her upbringing. I can understand her issue. Yeah. Yeah. I can understand her issue, but yeah, she was a therapist. And that's the twist in all of this, right, Mata? That's the twist. She was a therapist. She was a clinical practitioner. She was a therapist. She actually was helping people navigate through their shit. And then she had people, her friends were therapists. And she said that they told her to come, she said she was going to try to go to one of their houses, but one of them was having marital problems. So she said no. So she knew she had the resources all around her. She had the resources all around her, right? But I guess something within her just was not listening, to grab on to those resources that she had. And that's the sad part about this. That's the sad part about this. The way, she grew up not feeling like she was loved, because in her testimony she said, I was just tired of being treated like this. I was just tired of going through the same thing. I just felt like nobody loved me. And I just felt and I but how about loving yourself? And y'all, being being able to love yourself, it starts at a young age, and it comes from hopefully your parents telling you and teaching you how to love yourself. When little girls are little, and I can only say for little girls because I only have a daughter, but you're pretty, you look so pretty. Oh, you're this, you're that. Because society is just waiting to t- it's always going to be somebody out there that's waiting to tear you down, right? To humble you, right? But if you are taught at a young age, and you have that seal around you of who you are, then society cannot peel that seal away from you. Once it is embedded in you, who you are. As a little girl, I was that girl. I knew I was that girl. Because my mom never failed to show me or tell me I was that girl. And I knew it from a young age. Oh, I'm that girl. Okay. I'm the princess. Okay. I'm the princess. So as I got older, I showed that. And sometimes it intimidates people. Sometimes people are vexed by my energy and my spirit, but they don't have nothing to do with me. The way you feel about me don't have nothing to do with me. That's something that you have to work out. That's something that you have to work out in your small mind. It don't have nothing to do with me. Because I think I'm the best thing since sliced bread. Okay? So you can't never tell me that I'm not. Because it has been embedded in me since I was a little girl. You are letting a bag of chips. Okay? And if you have a problem with that, then that just means that you are not to be attached and connected to me, right? And that's how you have to tell your children, you are this, you are wonderfully made. You are special, you are loved. You have to keep confirming them when they're young. So when they grow up and they get in these relationships, and somebody bald headed son, or somebody little trifling little daughter come to them and try to tell them they're anything less, they'll be able to say no. I know who I am. I've known who I am since a child. Okay. You are not allowed to treat me that way. You are not allowed to disrespect me. You are not allowed to dishonor who I am. You will only treat me the way I deserve to be treated. You will only treat me the way you see me treat myself. But if you're not taught that, and if you don't understand that, then you'll be a Latasha. And she didn't have that. She didn't have that because she kept saying, I just want to be loved. I don't know why people treat me. You can't control the way people treat you. You can tell and show people how to treat you, and either they can go along with it or they don't. But you have no control over that. The minute you see somebody is not validating who you are, leave them alone. Leave them alone. Leave them alone, y'all. Please leave them alone. Let me see. Why didn't she do understand saying wanted to take? Yeah, take her exactly. And then they made like that she made like that she had tried to take her own life. And I mean, she had an opportunity to take her own life when she went over there, right? She still had the gun in her pocket, so she had an opportunity to take her own life. Then why did she do that then? I just think she was angry at him. She was just angry at him. And she was just tired of being in relationships that failed her and trying to make these men. You cannot make anybody love you. Half of these Negroes out here don't even love themselves. Let's just be honest. You cannot teach a man or anybody how to love you if they don't love themselves. That's just life, right? That's just life. And sometimes things are just not meant to be. Sometimes you just not meant to be with somebody. And you have to be able to accept that. But you have to have that foundation of emotionally intelligence to navigate through relationships, y'all. Because all of them are going to work out. And you got to know when to hold them, when to fold them, right? You got to say, all right, lesson learned. What did I learn from this? Lesson learned. Move on. What don't unalive you just makes you stronger. And you know not to do it the next time. Chalk it up as a lesson experience, and you just move on. You don't unalive somebody because they no longer want to be with you. And not only was that somebody not your husband, he was somebody else's husband. This man was somebody else's husband. So now we're talking about the covenant of marriage and all of this going on within the church. She in the ministry, he in the ministry. People hiding their relationships. He has people covering for him. All of this going on in church. Nobody respecting God. Everybody just in the flesh. Everybody just in the flesh, straddling the fence, just worldly and fleshly, and using God. God ain't had nothing to do with that foolishness. He had nothing to do with it. Just using God's name in vain. Talking about he was counseling her. That man prayed on her because he knew men know people, and I'm just not gonna say men, I'm just gonna say people in general. They know when you're vulnerable, the way you carry yourself, the things that you share. You have to teach people how to treat you. And you have to stand 10 toes down in who you are. Yes, I've been through some things, but that don't allow you to mishandle me. Okay, you will not mishandle me. And that's the stance you need to take, you know. And she had been through some things, you know. She was in her second marriage. But my thing is, why didn't you find that love that you needed from your children? And I guess I don't I'm coming from a place where as a mother where my child is my heart outside my body. And I know people have issues with their children and being mothers and making the connection. I know that. But I'm still going back to the fact the love that you wanted so much that you felt like that you never got. Why didn't you find that love in your children? In your children. In your children. You were educated. This lady was educated, had her own practice, her own clinic, doing things. This man was a piece of shit. He was a piece of shit. He wasn't no good. He was no good. People can only treat you the way you allow them to be treated. And when you tell people you are not allowed, when you set your boundaries, you tell people you are not allowed to do this to me, to do that to me. That's how you teach people how to treat you. You have to stand 10 toes down in what you take from people. And if they aren't okay with your boundaries, leave them alone. But he knew that she was going through a divorce. She knew that she was not getting the affection that she wanted from her marriage. And he used that. He did that push and pull. I'll give you some emotional attention. I'll give you some affection. And then when you don't do what I say, when you get out of line, I'll pull it back because I know that's what you're yearning for. Messing with her head, messing with her head, playing games with her. Now this is a woman that's supposed to be a critical thinker. And I say that because she was educated. The foundation of education is they teach you how to be a critical thinker. The basis of education, you have the critical thinking classes. So she should have kicked into her critical thinking. Nah, The minute she had that meeting with him where he was supposed to be counseling her, he was just he was scum. He was scum. And I really want to know what his past was like. Did he ever get essayed? Did he ever get bullied? Something happened to him as well growing up. He's experienced some trauma. I guarantee you. I guarantee you that. Let me see. I love me and taking care of myself. And yes, well, no, 100%. Yeah. But I can get, she wanted affection. She wanted affection. Yeah. And you know what? And my child, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying that we're human, right? And everybody wants to be, men and women, everybody want to be loved. Everybody want that attention. Everybody want that affection. Everybody, we as humans, we want that connection, right? But we don't want it to a cost where we lose who we are. And we feel like that when it's not given to us or when it's taken away, we want to unalive somebody. But that's why you have to do the work on yourself. And that's why you have to put yourself in a state of mind. Nobody comes before what I feel and what I need for me. Nobody, nothing or nobody. I will not sacrifice me for somebody else. Never. Never. If you cannot give me what I am deserving of, then you're not it. You're not that person. You're not that person. She had her first counseling session. That man prayed on her and they had sex. And I guarantee you, in that counseling session, she shared some things with him. She shared some things with him. And it just opened up the path for him to pray on her to do what he needed to do. And she was supposed to pick up on that. She was supposed to be like, let me get the hell up on out of here because you on that bullshit. And she knew he was married. And she knew he was married. She knew this man had a wife. The wife was delusional too. She was a problem too. So you had this man that was in the nucleus, the center of women. You got this one man that has a wife, that has a girlfriend, and other women that's in this little group that he's trying to start. I think it was two other women. And he's just, telling them the rules of the sister wives and who he could sleep with and the hard nose. And y'all, it was just crazy. Hey, living proof. Hey. We're talking about Latasha. So you had this one man. How does one man have so much control? And I guess I can say that because I am a woman of, I'm not that type of woman where you can control me. I just have a strong mind and I have a mouth. I'm just not her. I'm just not that girl where you're gonna control me and tell me to go buy you a certain type of cigar and go buy you a certain type of brandy and go buy you some workout club. I'm not that girl. But I'm not, I know there are women, but I'm not her. What made him so special where he wasn't pouring nothing into them, where he thought that he could take everything from them? What was it about him? And that's why you gotta, that it comes back to loving yourself. Because the minute that Joker would have tried me in that session, I would have got out of that session. I would have went to church that Sunday morning and I would have asked to speak in front of the congregation. And I would have let the whole church know who he was. I would have outed him in front of the whole church for who he was. That first session when he tried her. But she was so broken. She was so broken from her past relationships that she was just looking for anybody, anything to hold on to instead of loving on her kids and pouring back into her kids. And when she felt like that he had pushed away, he gonna send her a text and tell me I think our time is up. Oh yeah. I think that sometime in life, I think sometimes it's just good just to take time with yourself. When you've been in her situation, I think that she just needed time with self. She should have went to therapy. She had all the resources to just go to therapy after that second marriage. And why in the world would you have somebody counsel you that didn't have the credentials when you have all the access to people that do have credentials? This man wasn't in no situation to counsel her just because he was in the church. It's more hoes and demons inside the church than ever before. Than ever before. I've been watching on TikTok the Kojic, the Convocation 117. I've been watching on TikTok. You got baby, them people over there in Memphis, they having it this year in Memphis, Tennessee. Baby, you got so many sassy men at that convocation dressed up like man. It's so many spirits and demons inside these churches, even in Kojic. Just because somebody say they holy, And cry holy don't mean that they holy. And she thought that this man was in the church, at her church, a pastor that goes to the cigar lounge and drink bourbon and bust it wide open with different women, was the one to counsel her. And now she has lost her freedom. She lost her freedom over this man. And I hate it for her children. I hate it for her children. Now pouring into herself, yeah. She knew and had the tools and the resources, yes. And then that makes me think, did she have the strength to pour in herself? Sometimes, y'all, life will kick you down so hard where you just don't have the strength sometimes. And that's why community is good. But she had children to give her that strength. Sometimes you may have not have the strength within you, but you can pull it from someone that loves you. When I couldn't stand in the gap for myself, when I was at my lowest, my child stood in the gap and helped me. And sometimes you have to pull your strength from other people, from people who love you. And she had been hit so low, she didn't have the strength. And she didn't realize that she needed to pull it from the people who loved her instead of looking for it, validation in this piece of shit. And he took advantage of her. And men know, and they will try you. They will try you. And he knew that she wanted to be loved. All I gotta do, shoot, all I gotta do. He turned her out. She said, I had never been sex like that before in years. In years. So he was doing some things to her she had never had done to her. He got in her head and she started to crave that. And when she didn't act right, he pulled it. He gave it to her. He pulled, oh, you ain't gonna do what I say? Oh, you not naked when I get here? Oh, then you not getting playing mind games with her. Not using her critical thinking. And I know sometimes we want what we want. I get it. We want, oh girl, he this, he this. Oh girl, I got to have he this, he this. But sometimes you gotta be like, okay, nah, I'm good. I'm good. Cause you'll get your situation and yourself in a situation like she did. And the man was married. So I think I started off with the root cause, what I think the root cause, because with every situation like this, it's a root cause. And I think that we have to start going back to the root cause. We have to start going back to the root of the issue. Because I looking at it initially, I looked at it like She was mad because he ain't want her no more, and he ain't want to be bothered. He got what he wanted. She no longer served him purpose, and he was done with her. And I get that. But then I said, it got to be something more deeper than that. This woman was educated, had everything going for her. What happened prior to this? Prior to this, she had two failed marriages. Okay, then that just means them people just wasn't for you. Hell, I ain't had three. All right. So what? That just mean they wasn't for me. I picked the wrong people. All right, that chapter closed. Moving on. All right, I'm done with that. Life goes on. It too shall pass. Lesson learned. I won't do that again. And where do I go from here? What do I need to do from here? That's how you do that. But she felt like that having two failed marriages, it said to her that people don't love me. What am I doing not to get the love that I want? That doesn't necessarily say that it has a lot to do with you. It could be them. It could be a factor of things why marriages and relationships don't work out. Some things just aren't meant to be, and some things just run their course. Some people are just come into your life just to teach you lessons, just to help you along that time and period of your life. That's all it mean, y'all. And don't take a bad relationship or a relationship that didn't work out. Don't take it as being that you are not worthy of having love or you failed at love. I never thought that. I feel like they lost. They lost. That's they lost. You know why? Cause I love me. Oh, they lost out. They missed out. Cause I'm a good woman. Now, do I have some things I need to work on? Yes, and that's why I took my ass to therapy. They lost. Cause I know who I am. I know who I am. And that's the way she should have looked at it. But she had never had that validation of who she was and that affirmation of that she was loved and that she had to learn how to love herself. So she felt like that it was all her fault. One of the husbands cheated on her, packed her clothes up. All right, cry it out. You be over it about 14 days. Let him go. That mean he wasn't your person. Let him go. Let him go. Let them go. Sometimes you just gotta let them go. Let them go. And I know that it takes a lot when you're going through things. I know that's easier said than done. And I've got to the point because I've been through a lot and I've grown and I healed and stuff just don't bother me like it used to because I see things for what they are. And I'm in a point in life where I'm 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 good. And I know that doesn't work for everybody, but you got to keep on talking yourself through the process. I am loved. I love me. If you have to get up every morning and give yourself a hug, and look in the mirror. I love me. I'm that, and I'm worthy of having all of that. That's deserving. That I deserve. And I won't take nothing less from nobody else. Because the person that comes in your life will understand that. But the minute they see you don't honor yourself and they a piece of shit like this guy was, they gonna run with it, baby. They gonna run with it. And that's just how it is, y'all. That's just how it is. And my heart just goes out to her. It does. Her family, the verdict. It took the jury 2 hours to come back with a verdict. And they said that, like, they said she was guilty. I think it was one charge she wasn't guilty on. But she had a team. She had paid them attorneys. She had a team. She didn't have prosecutors. She had a team. And they fought hard for her. They fought hard for her, you know. As attorney, I don't know if I could have went that hard for her, knowing you blatantly took a 2 to 3 hour drive to go to the city where this man and his wife was at, and had a long time. You could have got off the exit and got on the other side of the interstate and went back home at any point within them 3 hours. Let me just go on back home. Let me just leave him alone. Let me just leave him alone. Let me just go shopping and buy myself. Let me just go shopping and buy myself some. Hell, you was spending all your money on him, paying for club memberships, buying him $200-300 bourbon, cigars. Invest that in yourself. You should have turned right back around and went to the mall. Book you a spa day, book you a stay vacation at the Four Seasons, have room service. These are the things that you do to validate yourself. Do pour into yourself and not no trifling man that don't give a damn about you. She should have said, this man is married. And the whole testimony, she didn't say nothing about the covenant of him being. I loved him. Y'all, she was crying like this man was hers on paper. I loved him. I would have never hurted him. But you unloaded the chamber 5 times, five ping pings to the head. You broke my heart. Pop, pop. You broke my heart. Pop, pop. You broke my heart. Pop, pop. That's crazy. You walked into that pawn shop like I'm standing on business. Hey, he gonna stop playing. She walked into that pawn shop like, hey, he gonna stop playing with me. Huh. You gonna stop playing with me. You mine. And I'm about to show you. You gonna stop playing with me. Okay? That she was standing on business, baby. When I tell you, good point. Yes. The strength. She was so low. She didn't have the strength. I will give her that. It had been sucked out of her from the relationships, y'all. Sometimes you be in these relationships that don't serve you. It literally sucks the life out of you. Have you ever seen a woman that looks like she's just drained? No life, no glow to her skin. She just looks like she's drained. Her eyes are lifeless because she's in a relationship that's sucking the life out of her. That man's literally was sucking the life out of her. She had no strength to fight back because she had already been in bad relationships, marriages. She said she felt like she was a failure. Why are you putting all that burden on yourself? It takes two people to be in relationships. Now, one time did I feel like it? Was I disappointed? Yeah. But feeling like it was the end. No, never that. And I didn't take the total burden on myself for my failed relationships. I took my part, but it wasn't totally on me. And she took all her failed relationships totally on her. One of the husbands cheated on her. That's his problem. That ain't yours. And I'm sure that he got his karma back for that. Because one thing I know for sure is you do not mess with the covenant of marriage. Mess with somebody's marriage and don't and see what happened. See what happened. I've seen it over and over again. Men stepping outside their marriage, women messing with men that are married. That's doom and gloom on you. And I know that. Leave people husbands alone. And if you don't want to be married, he told her, I just want to know what it's like to be single. He told her that, y'all. I didn't want to know what it feel like not to have an old ball and chain. I want to be out here in these streets, effing with the. I want to be out here. I want to be outside. Men like that, you can't mold them into no good man. There are some men that just like to be outside. And once you see they like that, leave them alone. Just like it's some women like that. He said, I want to know what it's like to be single. Good morning, Jay. Sir, you need. Yes, my time. He needed to be single. He told her that. But then what was she doing? Trying to be his wife. Baby girl was cooking and bringing food up to her office. That joker would come, had a key to the office. He come in and get his food out the fridge and put it in the microwave like she was his wife. You doing things that his wife should be doing, thinking that's gonna win him over. That man said, I want to be single. I want to be outside. I want to be at these cigar bars. I want to drink my brandy. I want to be in these little threesome chats with these women. I want to go look for new women. I want to have threesomes. I want to do all this freaky stuff. She said he told her, you need to go find somebody for us. She said, okay. She said, okay. So she got one of her friends to agree to do it. They get on a three-way call. He started telling her friend what she had to do. Her friend said, hell no. Y'all got me effed up. I ain't doing that. This how freaky he was. That's why I want to know what happened to him in his childhood. Something went wrong with that man. That man had some trauma. Somebody did something to him, allegedly. I'm just saying. There's a history behind him. There's a history behind him as well. Just crazy, y'all. He told her that. Now the man married, got you as his girlfriend. And y'all in the video calls where they show him, on the group chats talking to the other women, he talk about how Latasha was his girlfriend and his wife was okay with that, but they needed some more girls. And they played this video in court, and the wife was like, no, that's a hard, all of that's a hard no. Girl, you lying. You know everything that man was doing. But in her mind, in Latasha's mind, that was her man, y'all. That's my man, and I'm gonna stand beside him. That's your man? Uh-huh. That's my man. And the rules he had for her when they traveled and when they were out together. You can't approach me unless I say it's okay to approach me. All that submission. A man that gotta force you or tell you what he wants you to do to be submissive, that ain't the man for you. Cause a real man ain't gonna have to tell you nothing. He gonna be so good to you, and he gonna be a protector and a provider. You gonna want to submit to him. He ain't gonna have to force nothing. He ain't gonna have to tell you he running it. He ain't gonna have to tell you none of that. Cause you gonna want to be submissive. Cause he gonna be a provider. He gonna be a protector. He gonna know how to love you. He gonna know how to respect you, and you gonna want to be submissive without him trying to force it on you. A real man. Good morning. Happy Sunday. The wife saying, yeah, like she knew and said, yeah, keep it over there. She knew. Of course she knew. And everybody in that church knew too. And let's talk about his friend that knew. And that the friend was the friend with the wife. Just secrets. So Latasha has wrote a book. She's smart. She's wrote 2 books since she's been in there. Some geared toward helping inmates. But I want her to get her a Lifetime movie. I want her to get her a Lifetime movie. I want her to sell her story. She ain't, it's done. She did what she did. Now she got to, pay the price of what she did. But this would be a good Lifetime story. And in a Lifetime story, I want them to go back and go into his childhood. Because I'm interested to see what happened with him. And this was his second wife. I would love to hear the story of his first wife. I would love. Good morning. I would love to hear the story of his first wife. But when somebody show you who they are, y'all, accept it. And that man showed her who he was in their first encounter when she went to get counseling for him. Say he had his hands in his pocket. She said, I thought it was strange. And I later asked him, why did you have your hands in your pocket? To keep from touching you, being respectful. What? Man, I come here to get counseling about my marriage, about the issues that I'm going through in my marriage. So you just gonna navigate from the fact that I'm here to seek help because you are a pastor in this church. And I'm thinking that you are a safe landing. You are a safe place. She said, they said, well, why didn't you go to any of your colleagues? She said, because I felt like that wasn't a safe landing. I felt like that I couldn't go to any of my peers to get the counseling that I needed for my marriage because it wasn't a safe landing. And then you go to this man thinking it's a safe place and he violates you in every which way because you're not using your critical thinking skills. You don't have the strength to think. You're at your lowest, you're weak, you're vulnerable. And he knew that. Y'all, he knew that. And he played on that from the first encounter. He had a plan for her. And then kept pressuring her. Well, we can't do that until you get a divorce from your husband. We can't do that until you get a divorce. We can't do that until you get a divorce. But Negro, you still married. Just playing with that lady top. Playing with her top. Playing all in her face. Playing all in that lady's face. You gonna tell me what we can't do because I'm married, but you got a whole wife. It was she just had so many opportunities just to cuss him out and leave him alone. There were so many opportunities in that time frame of their relationship where she was supposed to cuss him out and leave him alone. Even if she didn't do it in the first encounter, because they had sex the first time. And now you gonna serve what? Possibility up to 20 years? Your bond was revoked. So you went right back to prison Friday. Right back in there. So I'm hoping that she doesn't unalive herself. They said that she was getting therapy when she was out. So I hope she gets the help that she needs since she's back in there. I just want better for us. It's okay, y'all. It is okay to just love on yourself. And sometimes there's gonna be a period in your life where you just might have to be by yourself. Yeah, and definitely a combination of Nesto and Diddy. If you ask me, a combination of Nesto and Diddy. But sometimes you just gotta walk away. Sometimes you just gotta walk away. You know. Sometimes you just gotta say, okay, this ain't the one. This ain't the one. And listen to yourself. Why would you want to be in a situation that doesn't serve you? I don't want to be around nothing and nobody that don't serve that is not healthy for me, especially at this age in my life. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. I just don't want to be in a situation like that. And knowing that the man was married from the beginning, how did you think all this was going to play out? And even if he would have said, she said allegedly she went over there to have this talk with him and his wife about if they were going to do this sister wife thing. That was her story. He said he wasn't expecting her, but she said she went down to the cigar bar. He said, "Go talk to my wife, and if you can get her to agree to a sister wife thing, we'll keep it going." She go to talk to the wife. They chatted up. He show up. He still ain't really bringing up the conversation if they're gonna be sister wives or not. She get agitated, get ready to leave. They walk out the door, and somehow or another, she and pulled the ping ping out, and she and unalive this man. The wife gets in the way because she trying to see if he all right. I would have got the hell on, me personally. But okay, okay, I would have got the hell on. So she ended up getting ping ping in the shoulder. He don't make it. That's a lot, y'all, for something that could have been avoided. This didn't have to happen. This did not have to happen. That lady could have still been in Arkansas, running her practice, seeing her patients, and living her life. And I know this is gonna play out in her head, and it has over. Oh, if I only would have. And I know she was hurt because he played her. He played all in her face. He played her all. He played her, but she allowed it. She allowed it. She told him, I came here to break up with you. He said, well, why didn't you? Nigga, I would, what? He said, well, why didn't you? I would have told that nigga, okay, I can show you that I can tell you. Hold on, hold on. Hold on. Let me show you. Let me show you. I got something for your ass. Oh, y'all. She said, I came here to break up with you. He said, well, why didn't you? You know why he said that? Because he knew he had her mind by then and she wasn't going nowhere. That's a tactic. That's that tactic they use. That's game, y'all. That's that pimpish game. That's that game they use. And if you weak, you'll fall for that. Some why didn't you? And she kept on seeing that joker. Even after he was aggressive with her while they were being having sex. She wanted that joker to cuddle with she wanted to cuddle with him. So he had her mind and she was just gone. She was just gone. She was just gone. And I just wish she would have pulled her strength from her children. I really do. But all right, y'all. I'm gonna get on off here. And I'll see y'all. I'll see y'all next time. Y'all have a good Sunday. Do something great for yourself and be great on purpose. And I'll talk to y'all in the next one. Bye.